Artist Stephen Graham here, coming to you with this YouTube video. Is going to be a puppet build. So I'm building a recreation of Foggy, trying to duplicate him exactly. I'll try to show a lot of my materials. I'll try to show a lot of my process. I'll speed up certain sections so you don't have to, so it doesn't last as long. But this video will actually appear in different parts. So I don't know how far I'll get each day. I'm not going to rush it, but I'm going to work on this puppet build, and I'm going to show every step of the way what I'm doing and how I'm constructing it and some of my thinking process that goes into it. Doesn't mean it's the right way or the only way to build a puppet. There's a lot of good ways. This pattern I make is just one I made up, but it's very similar to like a snoof, S-N-O-O-F puppet that Adam Krutinger made on his channel, The Puppet Nerd, if you wanted to look that up. There's some of those videos. Also, Adam Savage builds a monster, and then I think it's his puppet. So that's a good video where Adam makes this type of puppet. So if you want to watch some of those too. I don't know everything. I kind of make up some of this as I go. I know there's better ways to do things, but some of the things I do because I like to do it that way. So join me if you want to. Check it out. Hello everybody, Stephen Graham here, artist from Bartlesville, art teacher over at Kane Elementary School, and Foggy here too. That's right, your old pal Foggy. Today is not really a Travels with Foggy episode. It's not? No, it's a crafting episode. A crafting episode? Yes, a making episode, a creating episode, a building art, a making art episode. That sounds like fun. Yeah, it will be a lot of fun, I hope. We're gonna make a puppet today. A puppet like Foggy. Exactly like Foggy. What do you mean exactly like Foggy? Well, we're going to try to duplicate Foggy. So, duplicate? You can't have another Foggy, man. Foggy, we need a backup, just to be safe. We won't talk about it around Foggy. So Foggy's not gonna be in much of these videos. I won't be? Probably not. So I'm gonna do some videos. We'll get started today on the puppet, and there'll be several different, so these will be installments of videos, and I've got everything laid out here, but I wanted to show every step of the process of building something. Some footage I may be filming with my glasses, my point of view glasses, so I have my point of view glasses that I can wear for some of this. Foggy, why don't you go over here now? We won't show Foggy being taken off and lying down on the chair. He's just over there. He's fine. But anyway, filming glasses that I could do some up close filming with, and we'll see how that looks if I'm using them for that. We are using this pattern. This is our Foggy pattern. This is some Foggy fur. I've got some more coming in the mail. This is probably enough to make a Foggy. So we'll see. But we've got some more fur coming. We'll see if it matches exactly. So we may wait to cut that out until this package arrives in a little bit. But we're getting started. This is the belly of Foggy, and I put a direction on here. If we had fur that we wanted to come down on a puppet, then that could be an indication. Foggy's fur on his stomach is this stuff here, which doesn't really have a direction to it. It's just kind of stands straight up off of there, and so it's very soft. I am going to put these two join these two together with some spray adhesive. And so that'll be step number one, is join these two together with some spray adhesive. This stuff is a mess to work with. It's not fun to cut. It's very fluffy and very soft. And so when you cut it, there's lots of little pieces flying everywhere, no matter how you cut it. So that's okay though. This stuff is much easier to work with. This stuff's a breeze. Those are our two main parts there. Now I am putting the fur direction going up. So most of the time on a puppet, you know, the fur would grow down like on a human or animal, dog, any animal has logically the fur follows directions across the contours of the face. But I'm having the fur coming out. So Foggy has that funny snout with all that fur coming forward. So that kind of adds to his character. And kind of makes it so like I don't have to attach a nose to this type of puppet. This puppet is very similar to Adam Krutinger's Snoof pattern. I made this pattern up myself just by watching several people making these type of puppets, and so I just drew out my own pattern. But there's a lot of these patterns online for free. You can also make this from one piece, make these two, have these two pieces as one piece and have a seam that runs. You can have a seam that runs down the front, or you can have a seam that runs down the back. That would be up to you, how you cut out your pattern. So anyway, patterning is something I love to do. I love to make up my own patterns. I always modify patterns. You might notice that this kind of has an A and B here because they're not the same. This was modified. So I think this is the original Foggy. At least I hope that I saved the pattern of the original Foggy. I might have modified it slightly, but I don't know. See, there's some pieces that are modifying it slightly here, but I don't know. We're gonna try. If it is not an exact Foggy replica, that's fine. We'll try. We try again. There's no harm in making an extra puppet. It could be used for some other things. So this is the mouth, the pattern for the mouth plate. Horns. We've got horns. We've got the bottom of the foot. We've got this is the top of the foot. I'm not sure if I've got the leg pattern, but I can make one if I need to. So that foot kind of works like that. It goes back together like that, and it's fun to sew. That might be the leg pattern right here. I don't know. And a tail, which I didn't like the mechanics on the way this end worked. It was so I'm going to redesign that a little bit, but it doesn't have to match exactly, but it'll match pretty much. The teeth, something like this for the teeth. I'm not sure. A tongue. So anyway, I'm going to have to now have all the materials here. They're all ready. The white for the teeth, the pink for the tongue, the yellow for the horns, black for the inside of the mouth. I have eyeballs in the other room. So we're gonna take this piece of material here, which has this kind of look to the other side of it. And so I thought this needed lining. I didn't want this to be directly inside there. So I want to make it thicker and stiffer. And so I am lining this with some fleece. So I'm looking at this fleece to see which is the back and which is the front. I think that is right. Although this will be inside, so it doesn't not matter. It won't show, but still, the fleece does have a front and back side to it. One side's supposed to, a little slightly fluffier, and so that's supposed to be probably the front. It's just slightly better than the other side. But you could make a case for using the other side as a front if you wanted that look to it. So it doesn't really matter, but there. So now I'm going to go out to the shop and I'm going to attach these with some spray adhesive, which is not fun to work with, and I don't like doing it. I don't like using spray adhesive very much. if I can avoid it. But here, it's good. It's good for this. I mean, you could also use a some kind of Wonder Under or something, which you iron, an iron sealant of some type, to join those together. Probably, I don't know. So I'm gonna go do that now. Okay, I'm using some of this Loctite spray adhesive, high performance. I'm just gonna hit these lightly. Just shaking up already, and it's not working great. There we go. That should be enough. Just give that a second, and then pop them together. I'm gonna need both hands to pop them together. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I hate using this stuff. It's a mess. It's a mess, but it's good now. Okay. Now we take this in. All right, here is the piece of material, and I'm trying to match this to Foggy. So I have to make sure that the pattern is correct, and it's in the correct location pretty much now. So that's yeah, this fabric repeats these same shapes all throughout it. So we're trying to line this up on here like it looks on Foggy. So yeah, we'll be putting this is Foggy's belly. So the arrow's in the blue, right about in there. That'd be pretty good right there. So just go that way, yep. So right about there, yeah. Okay, that should do it. Yeah, the shop is not in very good shape right now. It needs some cleaning very badly. Okay, so I think we're about there. We can do extra at the bottom. That doesn't matter. Foggy has some extra material at where your hand goes into him, and you can fold it up, and that's helpful on certain shots where you need to be a little higher. I'm gonna slide this down just a touch. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, I'm gonna trace this with permanent marker. I'm gonna go ahead and trace where the bottom of this is here. These little tick marks here should help with alignment when sewing. All this is going to be hand sewed. Most everything on these kind of puppets is hand sewed. I hate to sew this kind of stuff, this fur with a machine. It's if you're doing something huge, it's okay, but if you're doing this kind of detail work, it's hand sewing is just better. I think it doesn't take that long, really. Okay, look at that. Okay, that's ready to be cut out. Obviously, some of this I can speed up. Look at that. Another foggy belly. Oh man, exciting. The first piece to come out. Okay, let's get all this fluff out of the way. It's our little vacuum cleaner size. Shh. Get my little vacuum, but I think I got most of it. Now I'm gonna cut out the body out of this fur here. So I gotta make sure I've got that grain is going in the correct direction. Okay, so it's running up that way. So I want it running up. So turn it over. Okay. Lay it out on here. Get some extra down here. Giving it about that much extra. And this is fine. This edge is not going to cause me a problem. No, I don't think so. I'm copying this side, not this side. Move it up just a little.
Okay, let's trace this. And again, I'm going to use Sharpie on this. This will not be cut with scissors. This will be cut with a sharp knife. A box cutter, X-Acto blade. Okay, I think this side. Let's flip this. Now, make sure that all like that. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of variation in this pattern. It could be, you know, you can make up your own patterns. I'll be cutting these arms out. They have to go, of course, a certain way too. The fur has to go down the arm, so I have to have the fur going that way. Down the arm. This is an arm that gets folded in half, and I got just one piece. Get these out here. You can't forget accidentally turn one upside down. If you do, you've just messed up. I'm gonna give myself a little bit of room here to cut this arm out longer if I want to. Okay, now it's time to cut. I'm going to use a very, very sharp razor blade and pull it through here. Let's try using this filming glass.
starting with this jean thread today. I like jean thread. It works really good. It is super strong. I find I can double it and it doesn't bunch up. Uh, I'm going to be sewing with it doubled. 2 strands is 1. So I need to sew all of this except for this. This is the arm, and I leave the hole open for the arm so I can have access down in the arms. Um, I'll probably start from here and go up, then do this side and go up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this started right here. Make sure I'm going through both layers, and I'm right on that tick mark, and I'm going to hit this tick mark right in the middle, and just in case. There we go. There's our first stitch in place. Now I'm going to run this way. Um, a lot of people pin. It's recommended to pin this. Um, I have these little clamps. I use a lot of these little clamps. I use a chopstick is a very useful and important tool to have. So right here, I am starting this. This whip stitch is pretty much the only stitch I will use for this entire project. Gonna run some tight little whip stitches. Do you think it's necessary for me to do all the sewing on camera, or should some of this be done off camera? I mean, of course it can be sped up. But right now, I'm showing you those tight little stitches, and I'll move this down a little bit. I'll hit that chopstick in there. Make sure I'm getting through everything I need to be, because I got where I glued this material. So if that edge starts to come apart, I could have a problem. So I want to make sure I'm getting enough in here. Every so often I can run some stitches backwards. I think I need to get more in here. I have to feel where the edge of that fabric is. I don't want anything to come undone. Every now and then I can run some stitches backwards. Maybe here I'll run one backwards just to lock it in place a little bit. Sometimes I'll run some looser stitches and then come back and run over them from the other direction. There is something about the direction you're going, and if I'm going to be going the same direction over here, but am I really? So you have to consider stretches on the different sides being the same. I do. It's a lot of getting things lined up. And you get the feel for it, and it goes pretty fast, really, surprisingly. Look at that. We can check it, too, from the other side, just to see how it looks, and we can take that chopstick and make sure that there's no hair caught. It's a little bit coming loose. That looks good. See in there? You can see you can see the stitches just a little bit. That's gotta make sure I'm getting deep enough over. I think I am. Yeah, I'm catching it. Okay, it's looking good. That'll be where the arm attaches, right here. Okay. You gotta keep thinking about what's next. What's the next step? Because if you do things out of order, then you could be in trouble. Like I gotta put the teeth in at the same time I put the mouth plate in the way I do it. You don't have to do it that way, but I like to do it that way. And Foggy was done that way, so I gotta do it that way since I'm trying to make a replica. I am gonna change the way I make his tail just a little bit. You won't notice. Keep this. This doesn't have much stretch to it now that I put these two fabrics together, and I try to put them so that they kind of cancel each other's stretch. I don't always do it. It doesn't really matter. There's so many little things you can think of that you can drive yourself crazy. But here we go. Here we go. Stitch by stitch. I hope I'm getting this on the camera. How close do I need to be to film this? Where do I need it in the frame? Like I think right here, where the needle is about the center of the frame. Is that correct? We'll look at it and we'll see. I think this is probably, when I get this done, this is about enough for this video maybe. We'll work some more on this in a little bit, but I need a little break. Okay, let's take this over here. Here's a time where I might put in some loose ones because I'm coming to this end and it's getting a little harder to do. So if I put in some loose ones and then I come back the other way to tighten them up, to tighten this up a little bit. I'll go through itself. Sometimes I'll do that a couple times, cinch it down. Um, you can do that a couple times if you want. It's probably, it'll get caught sometimes when you try to tie it off. Oh, there it goes. Nice and tight. I can't even hardly tear it. This stuff is so good. Okay, let's go ahead and get it ready to go for the next bit. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next part, Puppet Building Part 2. More sewing to come. Now we gotta decide what direction to go from over here on this side to get it to be the same, because now it's going through